Oh, hey guys. Video number 2. So like I said in my last video that I just uploaded, I'm just relaxing. I'm just relaxing today. And so as a result, I'm doing videos. Or I'm gonna do another video. This is video number 2 for today. Oh. Yeah, the cameraman is, you guys know the cameraman. I haven't been able to find a worthy replacement, so gotta make do. This video is for entertainment and education purposes only. Everything I say could be wrong. Do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Thanks. Thank you. Oh, hey, I know what I can go over. Quickly, briefly, before we get into the meat and potatoes. So I went to the thrift store today. I had to travel several miles, of course, but that's okay. And I picked up this mic. So I got this microphone so I can start using the microphone for my videos, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time since I first started. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to get a converter thing that'll go from a 1/4-inch jack to an 1/8-inch jack, and then I can jack this into my phone, and then I can use the microphone. And I even have some effects. I might be able to use my effects. Shit, no, I can. Yeah, I've got instrument cables. I have enough to where I could even have some effects to put in. Oh yeah, that'll make it a lot more fun for me. Maybe not for you. Maybe not, depending on who you are. Yeah. So, yeah, that's good times. What else did I get? Okay, so for $7, I got this, I got this Radio Shack microphone. Let me put my old man glasses on here. All right, this is a Radio Shack unidirectional dynamic microphone. It's made in the Philippines. I bet you this is a fairly decent microphone. Probably above average microphone. Because Radio Shack does good shit, you know. Or it used to, you know. It was like, you know, moderate to higher quality fucking shit. So yeah, I'm excited about this. And it came with the fucking cord. So this, I have a couple other microphones that have this same, you know. And these cords, like this cord would be shit. If I were to buy one of these, it'd probably cost me fucking, today? Probably cost me $35 or some bullshit, you know. So for $7, this is all the shit that I got for $7. The microphone and the fucking microphone cable. Okay. What else did I get? All this for $7. The microphone and the microphone cable. This emergency bag, which hasn't even been opened, put out by Coghlan's, which is probably a good brand, you know. And this is a 84-inch by 36-inch, so 3 feet by what? 6 feet. But it's like a sleeping bag. You know, handy, good thing to have. Good thing to have around. What else? Yeah, that. And then I got the. I had to get this. Fucking took me like 30 minutes or more to find this in the thrift store. It's the Braun. That's a good brand. And it's interesting because this was broken. So it's broken right here. This is the button that's supposed to grind the beans. And so it's like stuck, and I was like moving it around, and then it's like totally, like this doesn't even work, right? But down inside, oops, down inside there, you can see the little white tab. So what I plugged it in and it wasn't working. So then I pushed the white tab with my finger and it still wasn't working. I'm thinking, this fucker don't work. So I took my knife out and I just pushed it with the knife and it works. So I was like, cool. Yeah, the reason I bought that is because the last time I went grocery shopping, I went to fucking Costco, which was like fucking many miles away. And I spontaneously grabbed this thinking it was ground coffee. Turns out it's not. And so I do have this coffee grinder. So I've been having to grind my coffee with this, and it works. It works. You know, cool, right? So now I know that works, but it's, you know, takes longer to make my coffee. It's more of an effort. So I had to get the coffee grinder. That was the main reason I went to the thrift stores, for that coffee grinder. And it was in a big pile of shit. I had to look through a bunch of shit to finally find it. The other thing I got was this fire extinguisher. Brand new. Never even been used. And I checked to make sure, you know, that, because, you know, you can read the needle on it, like in the picture, how it has the needle. It shows you if the, because these things have like a expiration date. And when it's expired, the needle goes into the red. In this picture, the needle's in the green. Anyways, so I opened up the box and looked, and fucking this thing is like perfect condition. Nothing wrong with it. Never been used. So I got this, the coffee grinder, and the microphone with the instrument cable and the survival sleeping bag for $7. Shit. I'm telling you. Like, you buy that fire extinguisher at the store, that's going to cost you like $30. Easy. $30 for that. You know? The coffee grinder works fine. I don't know how much, whatever. And then, like I said, just the instrument cable on this microphone alone would be like $30. Even at a pawn shop, a used one at a pawn shop would be like $30 probably. I mean, depending on the pawn shop, you might get a place that's more reasonable that'll charge like $17.62 or some shit, you know. And then this microphone. One way to tell the quality of a microphone is just by the weight, you know. A lot of electronics you can tell by the weight. This is a hefty, durable microphone. And Radio Shack is a pretty fairly reliable brand. It's old school too. They don't make shit like they used to, you know. So anyhow, hopefully I will get the fucking little converter thing to convert the from a 1/4-inch jack to an 1/8-inch jack, and then I'll start using this for my videos. It'll be fun. It'll make it more fun for me. Yeah. Anyhow, so okay. So I like to watch channels that are more like mine that use the format that I use. And the format that I use is a totally dying art. Nobody does it. Like, okay, for example, like in popular and trending, nobody except for there's one channel that uses the same format as me in popular and trending. And that's Jim Rizzoli. That's the name of his channel. And I would recommend it just for the art. Because he uses the same format as me. and he's a reasonable person. I may not agree with things that he says. You know what I mean? But who in the world agrees with anyone else? The trick is to agree to disagree. You know, that's the key to, you know, human relations. I'm never going to agree with any one person. So it's like, whatever. Why would I expect that I should agree with somebody? That's an unreasonable expectation to put on anyone else, including myself. So, but, you know, there are people, and there are a lot of people that have this expectation that whatever you're talking about, they must agree with it. And if they don't agree with what you're talking about, you are the evil one. You are the enemy. You know, it's hilarious. But whatever, you know, hey, whatever, man. It is not what it is not, as they don't say. It is not what it is not. So I'm never going to find one person that I agree with. There might be things about their philosophy, life philosophy, and belief system, and, you know, principles that I agree with, but not everything. You know, I may agree with, you know, 80% of their worldview, life philosophy, you know, belief system, etc. But there might be one thing that I strongly disagree with. Let's say that one thing is that thing that person I strongly disagree with on is that they feel like homeless people should just be removed from society. Like, really, homeless people are just worthless people, and the best thing to do is to gather them all up and ship them off to some remote island, sequester them away, and just let whatever happens, because that's how little value that homeless people bring to society. And that's like one of the few things that I don't agree with them on, and I strongly disagree, where I'm like, what? Dude, like, you sound like a fucking retard, dude, you know. But whatever, right? Whatever. So, generally, people that have that belief, I keep them out of my sphere of influence. I don't, and I might argue with them, you know. I might initially argue with them because I might think that, well, like, maybe this person is just unaware that they don't know what they're talking about, you know, because this happens. A lot of times in life, people are just, there's things that they just don't really know what the fuck they're talking about, you know. No matter how intelligent they might be or appear to be, they're going to be things that they just have no fucking clue, have no idea whatsoever what in the fuck they're talking about. But because they're so used to being treated as though they know what they're talking about and they have all this knowledge, that they just assume, well, they must be knowledgable. You know? When really they are like, they're completely clueless. They're the furthest from being knowledgeable on the subject that one could be, but they just don't realize it. They don't know that they don't know what they're talking about. And so I might engage them and be like, dude, did you know? And I'll lay out some facts about it. And depending on how they respond, will kind of dictate, you know, how I'm going to further proceed with this individual. And if I lay some stuff out that they may be unaware of, and then they just reject it and or ignore it and continue on, 90 or more % of the time I'm just going to be like, Okay, bro. Well, it's getting late, and I got a lot of shit to do. So, well, I'll see you around, bro. And then I'll just whatever. I don't have any interest. Like, let them do whatever it is that they think is important. But it's not. It's to me, it's not important at all. Like, I don't care. I just don't care. Whatever. So yeah, but I mean, there's a range of all kinds of different forms of disagreement. It might just be that I generally agree with a person in a general way, but they they think that what's really the most important thing is that that people understand that the earth is flat, and that's their number one thing of all the things in the world. They're most passionate that the world is flat, and that this they're it's like, okay, well, whatever. I don't know nothing about that. I can listen to both sides of the argument, and and see that you have some valid points, and you have some compelling evidence, and see that the heliocentrist as well has compelling and stuff, and just acknowledge that and be like, yeah, I mean, shit, party on, rock on, because I appreciate anybody that challenges the status quo. I appreciate it because I think there's value in that, whatever the status quo is there. But someone who's totally foaming at the mouth, totally freaking out, demanding that I believe that the earth is flat, and will not accept any other answer but for me to concede to them, well, it's going to be the same. It's going to be like, well, I got a lot of shit to do, so I'll see you around, buddy. And that'll be it. It's like, no more, and I'll be, so anyway, so there's a whole range, this whole spectrum. So, like, going back to Jim Rizzoli, there might be things that Jim Rizzoli says that I disagree with, but because he presents them in a reasonable way, where he allows people to, have their own opinions, and, like that, I respect that. Because in a general way, Jim Rizzoli respects his audience enough to allow them to come to their own conclusions, rather than just to concede to Jim Rizzoli's worldview. And Jim Rizzoli has a conscious awareness of this, and so he speaks his mind and allows for whatever people to, ask questions, point out where he might be wrong, debate with him, But in a general sense, it's just Jim Rizzoli sharing his worldview. And Jim Rizzoli has enough humility to know that he doesn't know everything, and that he could be wrong in things, And some things, it's less likely he's wrong, and other things, there may be a higher likelihood that he is wrong, etc., etc. Okay. So, but I like channels that use the format that I use. And one of the reasons is because it's totally dying art. Like, nobody does it. Nobody does it anymore. And there were channels that used to that stopped doing it because they want to make money off of their channel, as opposed to just running their channel however they want. They have to use a business model for their channel and stuff. And it's like, why? But whatever. You do you, I don't understand it. It's like when I was in bands, the bands that I was in, we weren't using some business model to try to figure out how can we get our band to get discovered so that we're playing, so that we're making money off of our band. We never did that. We just did what we wanted to do, and then you know, perform and get it out there, you know, for the love of the art. That's it. And if people liked it, cool. If people didn't, who cares? You don't have to watch our band play. You don't have to listen to our band. Who fucking cares? And if we happen to get discovered, well, you know, if the record deal is good, maybe we'll take it. Probably we would if it's a good record deal. Most record deals aren't good, though. Most record labels, all they want to do is rape the band, rape the musicians, and basically steal their music for their own profit. So most record deals aren't good anyways. So what's the point in trying to land a record deal, you know? You know what I mean? And so all the bands that I was in, none of the bands that I was in cared anything about a business model whatsoever, at all. And so I like channels that are run the same as the bands I was in, where they're not using a business model to try to make money off of their channel. They're just doing their channel for the love of content creation. And that's the format that I use, which is the same as the format that was used in the bands I played in. We just played in bands for the love of content creation, to create music and perform it in front of people and get our music out there for people to, you know, as a spectacle. For the love of the art. And content creation is an art, and so it's the same. And so, but nobody does that in the world of video platforming anymore. Everybody's trying to make money off of their channels, and everybody's using a business model to present their content. And you can see right through it. You can, like I can see right. I can easily tell the difference between a channel who's trying to make money versus a channel who's just running their channel for the love of the art, for the love of what they're doing. It's like, it's so easy to see the difference. And so, but there are hardly any channels using the format that I use. All these channels are trying to figure out how to sell their channel, you know, which is like whatever. And people will defend it, well, you know, and I don't even listen to their defense. That would be like when I was playing in bands, and we're just playing in a band for the love of the art. And then somebody trying to explain to us how, you know, that one band, you know, they're using a business model, and, you know, it's a really good idea. None of us in the band would even pay any attention to them. We would just be like, who fucking cares? We got band practice. See you later. We don't fucking care about a business model for our band. That's not why we're in the band. We're in the band because we love the art of writing and performing music. And we're not going to change the music we write to fit a business model so that we can increase our chances of getting discovered and landing a record deal. None of the people in the bands that I was in, including myself, would ever fucking give a fuck to entertain the idea of running our fucking band using a business model. We don't, that's the whole point of our band, is against the whole idea of that. Okay? And so that's the same with the format that I use with this channel. I don't care about a business model for this channel. How do you not understand that I don't fucking care? And there are people that they just will never understand why a person wouldn't use a business model to run their YouTube channel or their BitChute channel. They just don't get it. And they never will. And those people think that Richie from Boston's channel is good, and they think that Crowhouse channel is good, and all these channels that are running their channel as a business, they think those are good channels. And I don't care at all whether you think those channels are good or not. And I don't care for those channels because they're run like a business. So their content is dictated by money. That's why I don't care about their channels. See, like this, my channel is not dictated on money or business of any kind at all. It's as free form as possible, as I could possibly make it. I just talk about whatever the fuck I want, not what's gonna bring in money. I don't care. And so I don't care about any of this, right? And that's how I run my channel. And like channels like Jim Rizzoli is the only one in popular and trending on BitChute that runs his channel that way. Every other channel on popular and trending is using a business model to make money off of their channel. And it's just garbage. It's just garbage. Because they're catering to a sheeple audience. Yeah? But whatever. No, see, 99% or more of all people, they'll never understand what I'm talking about. They never will. Everything is a business model. That's what life is all about. Life should be approached like a business model. And that's just the way everybody functions. Because it's brainwash. We've all been brainwashed to believe that life is to be treated as a business. Employing a business model. You know? And everybody thinks that that's the way. But then all these same people, they're constantly complaining about Trump and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Well, these are all people who have the highest rate of success in the world of business. So it's a total contradiction. Jeff Bezos is like one of the most successful businesses in the history of the world. And these people who think that life should be treated as a business, using a business model to, they hate Jeff Bezos and they call him, the Antichrist and the synagogue of Satan and all this shit. See? So everything about their whole life philosophy is a complete contradiction. Because they preach how I should run my life as though it's a business, using a business model. So they preach that to me and try to shove it down my throat as much as they can. And try to pressure people like me that I'm stupid if I don't use a business model in my life to run my life like a business. But then these same people, they hate the Jews because the Jews dominate the world of finance. They hate the Jews because the Jews run the entire financial banking system, And they hate Jeff Bezos because, he monopolized on some corner of the market of everything internet. They hate him. Anyways, I'm totally off on a tangent. But Jim Rizzoli is a channel that I can watch because he's not running a business at all. His entire motive has nothing to do with the business model, and I respect that. But like I said, that's a lost art. Nobody is doing what Jim Rizzoli is doing. Like 0.0001% of the world is running their channel like Jim, where it's completely void of any business model at all. It's just Jim speaking his mind, sharing his views and stuff. So even though I may not agree with some of his views, so what? I respect the art. And you can't find channels like Jim Rizzoli, especially in popular and trending. You'll never find, like his is like the only one. It's like the diamond in the rough. Whether I agree with what he's doing, what his channel content is or not, like it's a diamond in the rough. Like nobody's doing what he's doing. Because everybody's chasing that dollar bill, boy. Money is God, right? And this is the problem with BitChute. The only reason BitChute exists is to make money. That's it. That's it. BitChute's number one goal, if BitChute were to be honest in its mission statement, BitChute's mission statement would be our number one goal is to make money, period. Everything else is secondary. And then secondarily, we really would like to provide a platform where people can speak freely without censors. But the number one thing is money. That's it. It's about money. And this business model is a complete contradiction to the whole idea of free speech. All business models are a complete contradiction to the goal of that. Because every mission, its primary number one goal is money, and everything else is secondary. But we're here to save the children, boys. We're gonna save the children. But our number one thing is money, because we can't save the children without money. And this is a failing business model. This is why corporations rule the world, because everything is money first, no matter what it is. And this is why corporations deserve more respect than enterprises like BitChute, because corporations, they're not there to help people. They're very transparent in their mission statement. The corporation's mission statement is like, we're here to make money, motherfucker. You don't like it? Go away. That's it. We're here to make money. I have more respect for that than I do like BitChute, who says we're here for free to provide a free speech platform. No, it's not. Its number one primary objective of BitChute is to make money. But see, they're not telling you that. Whereas a corporation, they're not trying to hide that at all. Like, the very presence of a corporation, it speaks for itself. It's like, we're here to make money, motherfucker. Buy our shit. Or fuck off. You know, you don't like it? Fuck off. Go buy stuff at the fucking Kmart then. We don't care. We're too big to fail. You know? So anyway, so you got like these channels like Jim Rizzoli, they hardly even exist. Baffled by Bullshit is another one. You know? He just turns on the camera and does what he wants because that's what he wants to do. Not because it's gonna generate some business venture, you know. No, that's not about, it has nothing to do with it. It's just about the love of the art of what Baffled by Bullshit is doing and the purpose behind it. Money is at best secondary with Baffled by Bullshit's channel. Money doesn't even exist. It hardly exists. You know, I've seen Baffled by Bullshit, you know, get, you know, money, you know, a little bit here and there because he might put a link, buy me a coffee link or something. It's like whatever. But he knows as well as me and everyone else that Baffled by Bullshit isn't going to be making a lot of money off his channel. So whether he puts the buy me a coffee link there or not, it's kind of like, man, whatever. I personally don't, because in that aspect, I'm ritualistically principled in that aspect where I refuse to put any link to. I refuse, like, and it's partially out of humor. Part of the joke of my channel is you couldn't send me money if you wanted to. Like, good luck trying to. Send me fucking money. I will give a reward, $100 reward, to the first person that can figure out how to get money to me through this channel. The first person that can do that receives a $100 reward from me. And I'll stand fucking by that. A penny. Try to figure out how to get a penny in my fucking hand through this, running this channel, I'll give you $100 fucking dollars. You know why? You know why I'll stand by that and I will do it? Because I know that you will never be able to get a fucking penny in my fucking hand through this channel. And so that's part of the comedy of this channel, and the joke is you're never going to get any donation through to me. No matter how hard you try. You won't. And the first person that does, I'll give you $100. A crisp $100 bill. For real. See, that's the format that I use. Try to find channels that are using that format, where they're not trying to run their channel like a business. They hardly exist. Go to Popular and Trending on BitChute. All those channels are running their channels like a business for money. But they claim that the real reason they're running their channel is to expose the Jews. But no, it ain't. It's about money. It's about shekels. You know, it's just a complete contradiction. And it's a laughable one. Like, people should be laughing. Like, that's part of clown world. But instead of laughing, man, the majority of people on these platforms, they're taking it real serious. They're like, yeah, it is the Jews. Ridiculous. So anyways, so I mentioned Baffled by Bullshit because he's not doing that. So I like Baffled by Bullshit. I watch his channel. You got Jim Rizzoli. He's not running his channel like that, like a business. So I like Jim Rizzoli. Whether I agree with these guys or not, I respect the art. But all these channels that run their channel like a business, I don't respect the art at all. They're garbage. I'll laugh at them. I will continue to mock them. I will continue to shame them. I will continue to make fun of them. And you know, I don't care what somebody says. Somebody can try to come to me and defend Richie from Boston and get upset with me. How dare I criticize Richie from Boston? And they're never going to, they're wasting their breath, and they're wasting their time, and they're wasting their words. They're never going to convince me that, you know, they're never going to convince me to apologize for my temperament. I won't back down. I don't care who you are or who you think you are. You know? I don't fucking care. Okay? Like when I'm in a band, we'll put out records, but it comes from, the band I'm in has to pay to press those records. And the band I'm in has to pay for the album art for those records. Okay? And then when that band I'm in, when we go play shows and go on mini tours, we have those records available for people to buy. Not because we're trying to make money, but because of the love of the art. Because we never make money. We never make money. If we broke even, then that's an achievement. And we already know this going into the band. We're not going to make any money. So since we already know we're not going to make any money, why would we press records? If we already know we're not going to make money overall, make money off of the sale of those records, why would we do it? For the love of the art. And whatever money we get that is made, it just comes back to whatever money we put out to press those records, and we never break even. We might be like $200 short, But we sold a bunch of records and people bought them. And so even though we lost $200 in the overall prospect of that, the reward for us is that people fucking bought those records. And the records are good quality, and the imagery is what we want them to look at. And the audio is what we want them to listen to. We want them to listen to those songs because they're hilarious. The lyrics in those songs, we're talking about all kinds of crazy fucking shit, and the album art is like some dude with a big fucking boner, or whatever. It's hilarious. It's our way of mocking the music industry. So when we press those records, so we'll record that song, and then we'll press those records with those songs that we recorded, okay? And those songs that we recorded, they're all about mocking the music industry and making a mockery of the music industry and everything about it. And that's what the song is. That's what those songs are. And then we press them onto a record. And then the record is like something stupid like pink. It's like pink vinyl, or something. And then we make a album art where it's like the front cover of the album is a drawing of some dude with a big boner standing naked out in front of his fucking truck or some stupid shit like that. This is all to mock the music industry and everything about the music industry. That's all it is, including the song. It's all a mockery. And then we sell those records and we end up paying $200. We lose money in the sale of those records. The reward is that we sold those records and people have them at home and people listen to them. That's the reward. To us, that's what the reward is. It's for the love of the art. And we will never change. That's the way. We will never concede to anyone's viewpoint of how we should not do that. Of what really we should do is change what we're doing so that it complements a business model. So that way when we print records, instead of losing $200, we gain $1,000. But in order to do that, we have to compromise the integrity of our art in order to make $1,000. And that's what we should do, is compromise the integrity of our art so that we can make money as opposed to stand firm in the integrity of what we're doing and lose money. See, someone with the business model mind doesn't understand the love of the art. And that's the whole point of being in the band. Now, if being in that band and we stay true to our art and we do not compromise the integrity of our art, and somehow it catches on and a record label wants to sign us and we'll end up making money, sure. Why not? As long as there ain't nothing, as long as we're not losing the integrity of our art, why not do it? We wouldn't turn a deal like that down, but we're not seeking a deal. We don't fucking care. And the other thing about it is we can make a record that's super offensive, that's a total mockery of the music industry and everything about it, and that music that we wrote and performed and recorded and pressed onto records is easily as good as anything in a general sense you will find in the music industry. Is as good or better. Every record we press is as good or better than anything you will find in mainstream media music. I mean, that goes beyond your average person's view of what success in the music world means. That goes beyond, it transcends all this meaningless tripe on what it means to succeed in the world of music. That transcends success. That's like, how about I'll see your proposal of what success is, and I'll totally raise the bar. I'll put out shit that's as good as anything you're putting out, and I'll make sure that it's offensive to the record, to the music industry, to where they would never sign a record deal on that, even though it's as good or better than anything they can put out. But because it's offensive, they won't touch it. And I'll print those records and go on tour and sell them and lose money just to make a point of how the love of art is more important than the business of making money off of it. In defense of the art. And I will attribute that to a far greater success than anything Justin Bieber or any of these others can and will ever do in their entire life on one record alone. See, this is what it's all about. And that's what running a channel is about. And there are very few people that understand this. Jim Rizzoli is a person that understands this. And he stands alone in that whole sea and section of popular and trending. Jim Rizzoli is like the only guy that understands this. Whether I agree with whatever the content itself is or not, I respect what he's doing because it's true to its art form. The rest of it is the opposite of truth to the art form, you know. And so then so Gypsy Fox is another one. These are guys that they're the only ones doing it, you know, and they're very hard to find. And Gypsy Fox is another one. Now, Gypsy Fox might put out videos that I don't agree with, you know. Religion is something, I'm not going to engage as much as I appreciate Gypsy Fox's presence. If he, and he does this, and I don't care. It's his channel. And he'll do this from time to time where he'll start railing on the religion. And that's it, I personally, I don't get involved in that. And it's basically because my worldview is a little different in that sense. Like, my worldview, it doesn't matter what someone believes or not. It's what they do. So I won't engage in debating religious beliefs. The only one there are a couple religions that are egregious and intentionally evil to gaslight people into opposing them. There are a small handful of religions. The only reason that religion exists is to trigger a reaction from people. Now, those religions, if anybody ever wanted me to discuss my thoughts on those, I would totally bash them. I'd be like, dude, that's that's garbage. It's just garbage. And I would explain exactly what I did. That religion isn't even, it's a contradiction to its own self, because its only purpose for existing is to trigger a reaction out of people. So the religion is fake. It's just a facade of a religion that doesn't exist, whose only existence is just to trigger a reaction out of people. And so, but outside of those few, religion in general is just is really a non-issue for me. It's not something I'm gonna engage in a debate on whether or not Catholicism is evil or not. I don't get or Christianity, because it's kind of like saying that a gun is evil. A gun is not evil. Well, you can argue that a gun isn't evil. It's a person using that gun with evil intentions is what's evil, not the gun itself. You could easily argue that. And somebody who is trying to convince me that guns are evil, I could negate their belief that guns are evil just by looking at the fact that, well, guns are just an inanimate object. It's what a person does with a gun is what makes a gun evil, is what makes the idea evil or not, is the person, not the thing. Like I could say that microphones are evil because Joel Osteen uses microphones to deceive large masses of people to get wealthy off. But it isn't the microphone that's evil. It's Joel Osteen using that microphone to deceive people that's what's evil, not the microphone. And that's the same with religion in general. Many, many religions, religion in general is not evil. It's what people do with religion that can be evil. But there are people that don't use microphones to deceive the masses. They'll just use a microphone to, sing a song. Sing a song. Just another love song. It's like, who cares? That's why I don't engage in religion, because I see religion as just a thing, like this microphone. Now, if the Antichrist existed and was on the earth and was using this microphone to spread an evil message throughout the world, I wouldn't see this microphone as evil. I would see, the entity using this microphone for evil as evil, not the microphone itself. And that's all religion is, for the most part. With the slight exception of this 0.001% of religions that they aren't even real religions. They're fake religions that are designed to trigger a reaction out of people. Well, yeah, those are shit. Those are evil. Anything that is untrue has an element of evil in it. And some things are more evil than others. Like all people in the world have the element of evil within them. Like they have the potential to be evil, but they also have the potential to do good things. But just because, but that doesn't mean that, there are different levels of evil, me stealing $5 from my boss's, console in his truck is different than me going out and killing innocent people for fun. One evil is worse than the other, arguably. But yeah, so Gypsy Fox is another one. I respect the art because he's just doing his art. That's his art. That's his creation. That's his content. I may not agree with the message. So what, And who knows what's really going on with him? I don't know. It could be for entertainment value. And what does it matter either way? I mean, So anyways, yeah. And there's only a very few handful of channels, like 0.0001%, that are using the format that I use. And those are the channels that I like, and they're very, very, very difficult to find. Because 99.99% of all channels are using the business model to make money off of their channel. That's what the point of their channel is to make money. To compromise the integrity of their creation in order to make money. Yet still, money is top priority. The content itself is secondary to. So anyway, just more shooting the breeze bullshit. See you, boys.